This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
And boom!
Common man, no show pep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. Yes, a daring approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, challenge the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh, boy.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Megatron, you are solid, man! The Lions are roaring in Green Bay.
I'm unlimited, Mr. Unlimited.
And he's loose! Brutal. B-R-U-T-A-L.
I'm going to say something controversial.
Here's a deep left center from Central. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about
Speculation.
Value Bet.
Disease.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We're happy for you.
we got him.
Yeah, but.
Ladies and gentlemen, Timberwolves
Yeah, but-
superfan, we got him. Stan Barrera.
Yeah. Mark, they can't pitch. They can't hit. What is with? I mean, come on.
Right.
Welcome back to the spotlight, young man.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
It's just another Manic Monday here on the Common Man program. I'm Comedy's 10 of E, little ack-ack-a-dack and dack-dack-ack to you and yours. Here we go, crescendo. Listen to the appreciation of the crowd for Woody Herman and his orchestra. Fanfare for the Common Man, 1974, live, Dale Carnegie Hall. Why they named a performance venue after he was one of those pump you up kind of a speaker. He's Dale Carnegie was like, I'll say common, you say man. I'll say common, you say man. What do they call that? They're inspirational speaker.
Yeah.
They try to inspire you, get you all fired up.
I say Tana, you say B. Tana.
B.
Tana.
B. I say common, you say man. Common.
Man.
Common.
Man.
Yeah.
Gets me energized.
It does me too. And we'll hear that at the fair again. You're not a coffee drinker, are you?
Never had a sip of coffee in my life.
Never even tasted it once?
No.
Is it just because you thought it smelled yucky or just no interest? Because most people at least try things. Just what was it about coffee?
Yeah, you know I'm not like most people.
No, I'm just wondering what was it about coffee?
Well, I mean, first off, as a child, there wasn't the variety of coffee we have now.
Oh, right.
And I just remember going to the hockey rink and, mom and dad wanted to warm up. They would get the concession stand pot of coffee.
Yes.
And it just had that smell that I just did not like.
Yeah.
And then even I've had there's like some candies and stuff out there that have been like coffee flavored before that I've just never liked. And then I'm also, as you've probably noticed, things people are addicted to, I try to stay away from.
Yeah.
There's just something in my personality doesn't like that.
I've had
and people are addicted to coffee.
I'm addicted to hitting it in the middle of the fairway, so you avoid that. That's something else you try to avoid, apparently. Well, I remember, I love doing the old holier than thou bit about I don't need to alter my mind to have a good time. And then some of the people, you just couldn't handle your booze. And then what about caffeine? And I say, there are a lot of caffeine rehab centers all over the country, aren't there? They're just everywhere, right? For every alcohol rehab center, they have 4 caffeine rehab centers. Yes, it is an addictive substance. And it does give you when you get that first sip of black coffee in the morning, it's like this. I do like it. I used to drink it all day, every day. I mean, all day. When I was working up at the radio station in Cambridge many, many years ago, it was 2 different times I was there. And the second time I was there, I had one of those glass coffee mugs that looks like a canning jar, but it had a handle on it. One of those canning jars where you put like vegetables or tomatoes in them, and then you screw the lid on tight and you vacuum seal them, and you can keep them forever. Like you could take them down into, they have those. People have those survival.
Yeah, like bunkers.
Yeah, bunkers, in case there's a nuclear attack on you, right? You have food down there. I remember my old man once, I don't know how he came upon it, but he came upon some of those, they have these big cans. They were like giant, they look like a footstool. They were that kind of a shape, except a little taller, right? Like a little ottoman. And inside there were these crackers that were supposed to last for like 40 years. So those were stockpiled in bunkers, and that's what you would eat if you were going to be attacked. But why were we talking about coffee? Oh, I know what it was. So I would drink coffee all day. I would start in the morning. I would drink it all day. And I can't think that's good for your stomach or for your nerves. They're probably frayed, but I would drink it all day, every day. I rarely have an early afternoon cup of coffee. I just decided to have one today. Just
on extra energy out of you today, though.
Yeah, well, just a little mason jar was the word I was looking for. Mason jar. Someone help me. It's like a mason jar is what it is, and it had a handle on it. I would fill that thing up all day, every day. And I'm a coffee snob now, I must admit. Like the coffee that I'm drinking is from it's not a Keurig. It's sort of kind of like a Keurig here, and it leaves a little bit to be desired. Desired. But to each his own. Do what you do. You know what I did find? Have you ever heard of? You probably have, because you don't do coffee. Scooters coffee. Scooters is like, it's a chain. It's sort of like Caribou. It's sort of like Starbucks. I don't see many of them around. I went and played Keller. Remember I shot 96 at Keller? Yeah. So I go to Keller, and right when you're taking a left off of 61 to go into Keller, there's a little Scooters coffee drive-through, and you can go inside. Coffee shop there. Right there. I haven't played Keller since last year, so I think it's new. It hasn't been there more than a year, maybe more. Maybe I never noticed it before. But it's just in a perfect spot. Stop in, get coffee, go play golf, leave, get a cup of coffee, and go to work. It couldn't be more convenient for a person like me that likes to have a good old cup of Joe. There are plenty. About 84 was nothing special today. The swing's starting to come back. We might spin wheel a topic another day. We do have a number of things. I wanted Lavelle E. Neal. Was Lavelle E. Neal here in studio, or was he on phone? Do you know?
I didn't hear him.
Because he was on at the end of the show with the Paul Allen Project. I wanted to corner him. try to get him going about his Twins club. Because if you remember, and the Polat pocket protectors are out in force right now, en masse, in force. Suhan wrote a nice piece today, esteemed columnist Fisher at Factory West Side. And his conclusion at the very end is you have to pin this losing streak on the players. Yeah, that's who you have to. You do have to pin it on the players. They're the ones on the field. Though I will also say you could pin it on a little bit on ownership as well, because that was the thing he points out in there, and I think Lavelle. I heard a bit of Lavelle today with PA. I was in the coroner's office, and he was listening to the station. I was hearing bits and pieces of it about how, well, no, we're still considered an upper third farm system. And it's like, well, I don't know. Most of we talk about it all the time. At the beginning of the season, we're sold hope. Zebby Matthews and David Festa were going to be two. They were going to help. They were new, fresh, fun, exciting pitchers. Almost can't miss kind of prospects. This is how little they trust David Festa. They coddled these pitchers so badly. They went with an opener yesterday, Colomb, to pitch.
You've got to be
in the
kidding
top
me.
half of the first, because they're so afraid of a pitcher pitching well and getting through the lineup the first two times, and they don't want them to fake. And I've seen the numbers. I get it that as the game goes on, the hitters start to kind of. All of a sudden it's like, okay, we kind of know what he's got today. We know what his stuff is like, and so that third time around. But if you're going to be a big league pitcher of any repute, well, then you get better. You've got to start facing the team the third. When are you ever going to get to the point where you can go 6-7 innings if you don't try to go 6 or 7 innings? And it backfired anyways. Colomb gave up a run. We lose 9-8. The numbers are just astonishingly bad right now. We'll get to those. The Durant dream is over. And your Thunder are the world champions. Those and some Viking NFL tidbits, including some controversial Vikings news on the other side of the break with Peek at the Purple right here on The Fan.
Hey, The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword pay at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is pay. Enter now at KFAN.com. Head over to our contest page and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see renowned comedian Brian Regan at the Mystic Lake Showroom on September 27th. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest to enter today.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm common. He is Tennessee. And it's time now for Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. Affordable Electric wants you to be safe outdoors and want to remind you that outdoor receptacles exposed to the elements can become serious hazards if they're outdated or not up to code. Contact Affordable Electric. They're family owned and operated. They'll give you a professional evaluation to make sure your outlets are safe, grounded, and ready for all of your outdoor fun. Stay shock-free and worry-free. Affordable Electric has got you covered. Visit affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is, oh boy. She says shockingly affordable. I saw a piece tend to be one of those list pieces that we just love at this time of year. And it says, it's a CBS Sports one that says, the title's ranking the top NFL off seasons. Which teams set themselves up for success? What's sad is Philadelphia is coming off a world championship, right? They're 9th on the list of 10.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Philadelphia's approach to the offseason was very savvy. It allowed veterans like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, James Bradbury, and big play Slay to walk with the goal of supplying young, cost-efficient players with playing time. Veterans Josh, I don't know any of these players. Have you heard of Josh Uche?
Uche?
U-C-H-E?
No.
Aziz Ojolari and Adore Jackson were added for insurance, but they have these first-round selections. They have fourth-round picks. They have all sorts of younger players they're bringing in. Philadelphia does seem to have a pretty good system going on over there, Tennessee. They seem to, every year, they seem to be contenders. And as we've talked about in the past, they really focus on the offensive and defensive lines. And that's why this team has been
hitting on draft picks.
Yeah, they have been hitting on draft pick. That's for sure. They have by the way, it was Cleveland at number 10, Philadelphia at number 9. Indianapolis Colts were number 8. The Buffalo Bills at number 7. Carolina Panthers at 6. The Washington Walrus at number 5. The Denver Broncos at number 4. And your soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. Of the 32 teams of the National Football League, CBS Sports thinks they are they've done the third best job during the offseason of putting themselves together or giving themselves a chance for success. Here's what it says. The offensive line had been an issue against the Rams in the playoffs. Perhaps the Vikings overcorrected with massive contracts for center Ryan Kelly and offensive guard I can't remember, is it Fries? Fries. The two played a combined 15 games in 2024. Can you give me a... As well as first-round selection Donovan Jackson. Second-year quarterback J.J. McCarthy should feel protected behind the new-look unit, which also welcomes back injured left tackle Christian Darrisaw. Potentially the biggest boon of the entire operation was the retention of defensive coordinator Brian Flores, whose unit exceeded expectations a year ago. He is now graced with proven veterans Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, which allows last year's starters to serve in more suitable roles. Mm-hmm. So as we have talked about here, Tennessee, they have nationally, I think there are the same impressions about the Purple's offseason as we have had. I do... You know, if you're going to swim in a pool or you're going to go into a lake or you're going to go for a swim and you're not sure of the temperature in the water, sometimes you kind of just dip your toe in, right? Rather than just taking the plunge. And I'm not really dipping my toe in and I'm not taking a plunge either. I think I've kind of waded in up to my waist. I like the changes they've made. I like the players they've acquired, the offensive players we just mentioned and the two defensive players. How, if they can get back up, after, recovering from injuries after a rehab, can they return to the thrilling days of yesteryear? Can they perform as they have in the past? If all four can, I would deem the offseason a success.
Let me get this straight. Vikings won 14 games last year.
Yes.
They've had the third best offseason of any team in the National Football League. And yet their win totals in Las Vegas are 8.5.
Yeah. Well,
you've got to be kidding me.
They also have, after they list all the teams, 10 through 1.
I was guessing maybe the Bears were going to be up there.
They also have Super Bowl odds.
Oh, yeah.
Plus 2,100 of the Vikings, $10 to win $210. Think that's a good value bet?
I may have gotten better value than that in Las Vegas when I was there 2 weekends ago.
I got
him at 30 to 1.
So you did bet on the soon-to-be big game world.
Yeah, if the 30 to 1 was, I would consider 30 to 1 on the Minnesota Vikings to be a
value bet.
Now, can you hit the other sounder?
What's the other sounder?
Bet. I don't know. I just wanted to hear it. I don't know if I want. We'll talk bets and that. By the way, I don't even know. Did Power Trips bet report? Did I take the Pacers or the Thunder? I think I had the Pacers.
I think you had the Pacers. So you probably lost again. Yeah.
I don't know how much I owe Rosen. Maybe Power Trip Bets can figure it out there. I have so many bets out there. I've got so much. I have more money going out than I have coming in.
I think maybe at this point you should just give him 20 to kind of be safe.
Yeah, that's probably it. But what if it's only 19? I don't want to give him extra money. No, but I don't want to give him extra money.
Yeah.
Power Trip Bets has got it figured out. If they're doing...
Power Trip Bets doesn't know what you've paid.
Well, I haven't paid him anything. The only person I paid was you. I gave you $4. And it was you and I are cleared, right?
I thought you were going to pay Rosen the day you paid me.
I didn't have enough cash. I had to tip... somebody. It was either coffee person or somebody on a street corner spinning fortune wheel or throwing dice. I don't know. I don't have the money. So whatever Power Trip Bets, if Power Trip Bets is doing the things they used to do that made them good, they'll know exactly how much I owe Mark Rosen. I think I might just swear off this whole betting thing anyways. And people want me to, what if I would have bet more money? Instead of being down, maybe, I'm probably down $15 to $20. Let's say it's 20. I could be down 200 if I was doing that. If I was throwing my money around like a drunken sailor like they do on the Power Trip morning show. So I'm just like friendly bets. It's just I bet for the fun.
Because when you're losing bets to Rosen, you should reevaluate your decision to bet.
Mm-hmm. I mostly do it just because
I like to get them going.
When I just like to hear the sound effect. The bet. The Patriots were number 2, and you are right, the Chicago Bears were at number 1, Tenneby. It says... The changes of the Bears began at the top with incoming coach Ben Johnson, regarded as one of the game's most forward-thinking, dynamic offensive play callers in his former role with the Lions, hoping that success follows him to Chicago. They upgraded the offensive line with Dahlman, Jonah Jackson. Is it Joe Thuney or Tooney? I think it's Thuney. The defensive line's floor should be elevated with Grady Jarrett and Odiegabingo joining the cause. Luther Burden 3 and Colston Loveland were added as pass catchers in the draft. So we'll see. Maybe the Bears did the most. It should be a terrific division. It really should, barring injury, for all 4 teams. Should be pretty exciting. We'll pause. We'll return. That was Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. For all your electrical needs, visit affordable-electric.com. They're shockingly affordable.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program?
Deep Purple.
Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryan text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
Uriah Heep. Humble Pie. I don't know if any of those bands are still alive. Oh, I know they are. There's a handful that have gone to the great beyond. Peter Frampton was with Humble Pie. Give me that camera. Frampton falls apart. Hey, I'm Comedy's tend to be no Rosie today. He's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of a guy. He'll be in at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Rock Talk Wednesday at 1:30. And are we back with regular program password then on Friday? Just regular old no tournament?
Probably, but I will be gone, so you guys will have to figure that out.
I didn't know that. Can you say? Do we have any indication? Can you say where you're going to be?
I can't say.
So it's private. Okay. Is it vacation? Oh, or is it? Maybe I'm asking too much. I'm an open book. When I will be. I'm not going anywhere in the near future. I think sometime in August I'll get back to you in the next day or two. I'm taking a couple of days off to go to Camp Richard. But other than that, I'm here for the. I'm here for the duration. Oh, I will take a day off the first Monday in August for the Colberry tournament to help Hope Kids. So, but other than that, I think got some breaking news. What you got, Tenna?
Power Trip Bets has tweeted us.
Okay.
Mark Rosen wins $2 from the Common Man as the Thunder beat the Pacers. Common's net total owed to Rosie is only $13, well less than the $20 he was expecting, leaving him plenty of space to place more bets.
Yeah, well, that's where Tenneby said just throw him a 20. Tenneby was trying to get
I thought you were up like in the 18-19 range. Yeah. Just to be safe.
Glad you're not my bookie.
I'm glad I'm not your bookie as well.
Yeah, the Thunder wins the National Basketball Association title, final 103-91. It was close early. I think I would put an asterisk on this one. Had Halliburton, do we know for sure, was it an Achilles?
Yep. They have announced that today.
And the Achilles is one of those.
Which is pretty obvious watching it.
Yeah, and those Achilles are one of those that it takes a while, right?
That's a long, He might miss all next year.
That long, huh? So, and Halliburton, again, I'm not paying as close attention to the league as I once did tend to be, and I don't know if he kind of just came out of nowhere. I mean, when I say out of nowhere, I don't remember him. He was just brilliant in the playoffs for most of it. We talked about game-winning shots, game-tying shots, doing the things he needed to do to lift his team to victory. And I know the name. I guess I've probably seen him play once or twice, but he seemed like he burst onto the scene, at least.
I think in terms of national recognition, yes.
Yeah, and being,
considered a star.
Rising to the occasion in the moment, being a guy that wants the ball, give him the ball. At crunch time, come fourth quarter, bring it to the ticket. So without him, they were neck and neck. As a matter of fact, at the half, the Pacers still had the lead, even though he left the game. Was it 8-9 minutes in? He got hurt early in the game and was gone. And then that third quarter is when the Thunder came out and took control of the game, and they never looked back. Your guy, SGA, 29 points, something like 12 assists, and I think he had something right around 5 rebounds. He became the first player, since Shaquille Diesel O'Neal in 2000 to win the scoring title, regular season MVP, and they gave him the finals MVP as well. That's the first time since 2000 that's happened. The only 2 other players to accomplish that feat, do you know who they were, Tenneby? Did you read the story?
No, I did not.
Who do you think they were? Only 2 other players won the regular season scoring title, regular season MVP, and finals MVP. 2 other players.
I'm going to assume Michael Jordan is on that list.
You know how many times Jordan did it? Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. He won the scoring title, league MVP for the regular season, and finals MVP. 1 other player.
I'll go Kobe?
Nope. Same team. Lakers. Same organization.
LeBron?
Same team. No. Got to go a little further back.
We got to go Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
That is correct. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it in 1971. In addition to that, Shea became the first player since LeBron in 2013 to win both regular season MVP and finals MVP in the same season. He became the 3rd player in NBA Finals history to have 25 points and 12 assists in Game 7, joining Walt Frazier, who had 36 points and 19 assists in 1970. Jerry West had 42 points and 12 assists in 1969. And on top of that, he became the first player with at least 12 assists in Game 7 of the Finals since Magic in 1988. And again, not paying as close attention to the league. Where was he? When was he? How many years has he been in the league? And was he like a really... he wasn't like the first pick overall or anything like that. I think he was
drafted like 11.
11?
Was it 2018?
Okay.
I think he was traded in 2019.
Yeah, that's right.
The Clippers trade.
So...
which does not look good right now.
To develop to where he is now, and again, I know 11th is lofty, but it's generally, I always think of the all-timers are guys that are getting drafted in that first pick overall, top 5. He goes 11. And we talked about this last week. The kid for Denver, Joker, was second round. Was he like the 60th pick over 40? I think it was like 40th pick overall in the NBA draft. But and I know Alexander gets there are a lot of people that are bitter with the flopping stuff, the perceived flopping.
Yes.
He's not the first player to do it, and he will not be the last. And while I guess I can sympathize with people that hate that. I think you
I don't like
detest
them,
it. You detest the flopping. I think most people do. I will also say this. I bet there are people that, I bet most Oklahoma City Thunder fans don't mind the flopping, and other players that have been known to flop and do it successfully, I bet the fans like that player. And my only comeback my only response to the people that would complain about it, someone just said Kareem wasn't on the Lakers in 1971. I remember seeing the Kareem jerseys. Must have done it when he was with the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know. Did he win a title with the Bucks? I don't know. So I told you I'm not paying as close attention to the league as I once did. So I can understand people's frustration with a player who...
Yeah, he won with Milwaukee.
With Milwaukee. I imagine, I can sympathize with the frustration people have over the floppers, but until the league does something about it, and I don't know what they can do about it. We talked about this. I got some pushback. We've been talking way more basketball than we ever have, and way more than I'd really like to, and that's only been because the Wolves the last 2 years have advanced to the Western Conference Finals. Hard to ignore the hometown five when they're playing as well as they are, or have been up until this point. But, I've talked about how the game in general is it's hard to officiate. Forget the flopping part. And we've talked about, everybody complains about the officiating. We're getting jobbed by the officials. Every team, every player, every organization, every fan, they always think our team never commits a foul, and they're always fouling us. They always just feel that way. I've never heard a fan ever or a player go, we got away with one there. Boy, officiating was in our favor today. Well, that team got a lot of bad calls. They never do. It's only poor us. We're getting the bad calls. And that's where, someone threw, it's marginal contacts allowed. Commonwealth, marginal contact, there's a gray area there, just like there is in flopping. I think with flopping, there are times it's obvious. There are times players are trying to, and not even just flopping, but they're trying to initiate some contact. When they throw and they kick their leg out so that they get hit. So until the league finds a way, and I don't know how you can.
I thought they did. Didn't they have a system 4, 5, 6 years ago where they were going to start fining players for flopping? And I don't know what's happened. Either they stopped doing that program or just they don't fine these guys anymore. Because Shea had one last night where he was shooting a three-pointer. Obvious he didn't get touched, right? Just a simple three-point jump shot. And he tried to do the old, I'm going to kick my legs out to make it look like I got fouled. And then he fell back on his bottom. And credit to the refs, they didn't call it. And I thought, actually, in the NBA Finals, the refs did a pretty good job at not calling the flop stuff. So credit to them.
Right.
Because we only give them crap when they miss that stuff. Mm-hmm. Against the Wolves, it was clear he got away with a lot of flopping. But those weren't getting called, I didn't think, in the finals.
Yeah. And so I guess there's an old saying in Texas, I know there is in Tennessee, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, I won't get fooled again. If you, you can write this one down, Tennessee, and you can use it. If you can't beat them, join them. So I would just say if you don't like the other team embellishing, embellishing fouls, but trying to sell it to the ref that there was contact, got to call a foul there. It's got to be an and one, or just give him the free throw if he doesn't. The free throws if he doesn't make the shot, then just start doing the same on your end. And you could say, well, you don't really want to encourage that because then it's already getting out of hand. Now, can you imagine if every single player on every single shot is attempting to draw a foul or is attempting to make it look as if he's been fouled? The game's going to get even more sometimes there's not a good flow to the game, right? It's even going to get more herky-jerky with fits and starts and this and that. That's like, that reminds me too, Tenneby. You know, I want to talk a little bit of the golf. I don't know if you watched any of
just a
Tommy
highlight.
Fleetwood just let it get. I watched the last 9 holes, the back 9, and Tommy Fleetwood. That's. Do we say the word choke? He hit some really bad shots coming down the stretch. And Keegan Bradley, just the opposite. He smelled blood, and you can tell Keegan Bradley's a gamer, right? He's won on tour before on a number of occasions. He's made a lot of money. He's Ryder Cup captain, and he just went for the juggler, especially on 18. Tommy they're both in the fairway. Tommy's got a 1-shot lead, and Tommy
just got to hit the middle of the green.
Just hit it in the middle of the green. Or you know what? Fire at the flag. Go win. Go win it. You kind of pulled on it a little bit, and it's not even on the green. It's on the fringe. He's 50 feet away. And Keegan, you just know what he's thinking. Well, now it's mine. He steps on the gas and knocks it into 5.5 feet. And then even worse, Fleetwood hits this awful third shot that leaves him outside of Bradley.
With giving him the line.
Yeah. And it's like, and
then, the same line.
And then he misses the putt, and it was over.
Now, in that missed putt, I have seen slow motion replay of it. I do think it hit something.
Yeah, I think it did.
Kicked right.
I think
he got a little. He did not get the puck luck on that one.
But and then it was it 17, I believe. Well, it was on 17, if you know what I mean. Keegan hits it right in the middle of the fairway, and your guy Fleetwood hits it into the fairway bunker, just protecting against going into the water, right? Instead of just, and again, it's easy for the gadfly, who's just an awful player, to stand there and tell pro golfers, be bold, think big, be big, hit it in the middle of the fairway. But then he did hit a brilliant shot out of that fairway bunker. He was 168, and it was all carry. And he knocked it on the green and 2-putted, so he kept his 1-shot lead going to 9, and then he let it get away. But you know how you're bitter with the rule that you cannot move your ball out of a divot?
Yep.
And that it should be changed? And I've sort of started to come around to that way of thinking. But then I was talking with the folks from the Minnesota Golf Association, because we were out playing golf prior to Golf Day Minnesota and on Golf Day Minnesota. And here's the comeback to that, Tenneby. Divots are in various stages of growing back or just being a fresh divot.
Sure.
Where do you draw a line there? So, like, you've probably rolled into a divot before that's been seeded, sanded, and it's grown back, but there's still a little bit of indentation. Well, now you get every player on tour. How often do you think it would happen and go, I need an official to come over here and look at that? You can see there was a divot here about a week ago that's impeding me. And you go, I guess when do you give it to when do you? And that would create issues. Now, if it's just you and I playing and we're just having a fun game, there's nothing at stake. It's recreational or ceremonial golf. I'm a ceremonial golfer now. I was the unofficial ambassador of Minnesota Golf. I could see where, go ahead, Tenneby, pull that out. That's awful like that. But on the pro level, I don't think you could ever do it. I just don't see how you could. Because what's a divot, what's not a divot?
Well, I'm assuming there's not as many divots from a week or two before on the PGA Tour because they're not letting too much on the course, right? I mean, they're having that thing in pristine condition. I guess if you're forcing me to play PGA Tour commissioner here, I guess I would count the height of the ball, if that makes sense, right? Like if the divot is covered, then the ball is still at kind of like even level of the fairway. If the ball is in a divot where it is now going lower than the actual level of the fairway, that's what I would consider.
But then you got to get. But then do you have some kind of a we have a stimp meter to test the speed of greens? Do you have some kind of a contraption to lay down there? And go, it's about
I think it's common sense.
I don't know. I think.
You're afraid the Patrick Reeds of the world will try to abuse the rules. That's what you're saying.
There's that. There is that. And not just that, but it's like, in the U.S. Open, where Sam Burns was saying, how much water is this? Can I get a free relief? And they did not give him free relief. And he asked for a second opinion. And then after we saw the shot, it kind of looked to me that maybe Sam got a bum steer there. He maybe should have been given relief from there. So I'm going to, even though I've been leaning your way, and trust me, I hate being in a divot, as the unofficial ambassador of Minnesota Golf, I would say the rule stands. I don't see how you can do it.
You've got to be kidding me.
We're just going to have to be in different camps here.
Yeah, we're going to have to be in different camps here. And I think that camp is always going to stay.
So maybe those players need to start replacing their divots.
Yeah.
Repairing their divots.
But sometimes it's not even so much. Sometimes divots explode.
Yeah.
Haven't you ever hit an exploding divot where there's no divot to replace?
But I mean, you still need to at least put sand in it.
Yeah, but then the sand, then you put sand and seed in there, but it takes a while to grow back.
Yes.
And if it's partly grown back, who are you to say it's too controversial? It's like the flopping thing. It's no different. That's why I brought it up. It's no different than the fly. It's too difficult to determine. So you're taking a stand here, but it's hard to judge what is a divot.
I think great shots should not be punished. Good shots should be rewarded. Bad shots should be punished. And the lack of a rule is punishing good shots. When a ball's hitting right in the middle of the fairway, right where you're supposed to go, and it goes right into divot, could someone didn't replace it earlier or fill it?
What if they filled the divot? What if it's completely filled?
Yeah, then hit from it. If it's even with the fairway, yes.
So if you've put sand in there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which they should be doing at that level.
But that's still in a divot.
Yes.
And that's hitting from that sand is going to be more difficult than if it's just pure grass. It's not going to be quite the same.
Yeah, but it should be easier to hit than the ball actually indented into a divot.
Right, well, yeah, right. But still, I hit a perfect shot, and now it still is more difficult. I say play the ball where she lies. That's the way they've been doing it since old Tom Morris played the game back in about the same time they were building the pyramids in Egypt. It was the exact same time they invented the game. And so if that's been the rule, by gosh, that's what the rule is. Play it as it lies is the core rule of golf. And I'm going to go with that. Now, did you see the break that they had
play it as it lies unless it's, next to a drain of some sort or there's cart path or anything man-made.
Well, yes.
Then you can't play it as it lies.
Well, yes, right. And that's the way it should be. As a matter of fact,
even though that divot is man-made.
If you saw yesterday in the
divot is man-made.
Yeah, it is, but you just need to suck it up and play from it. Learn how to hit from a divot is what you need to do, son. Hit from a divot because
I know golf's such a precious game. We can't. It's such a hollowed sport.
Well,
we can't change any of the rules.
Well, do you get to fluff the ball? What about in the rough? What if somebody takes a divot? You pull it out of that too. I mean, I don't know where.
I only say in the fairways. Because the rough, by definition, you have not hit a great shot if you put it in the rough.
Well, what if you were trying to hit it onto the right side of the fair? When you pulled it a little bit on the left side, you didn't hit a great shot. You pulled it left. You were trying to get to the left side. You wanted to be on the right side of the fairway because you wanted to take the hazard out of the way on the approach shot, but you pulled it left. You didn't hit a perfect shot. Don't tell me you were trying to hit it over the left side.
You hit a good shot. You're in the fairway.
Really? I think that leaves, again, that's a questionable thing, Tennessee. Matter of fact, someone says, according to Tennessee's rules, everyone would be improving their lie. Now, somebody else said, always.
Everyone would be.
Well, because you'd always
not everyone's hitting in a divot.
But all you have to do is say there was an old divot here and I'm moving it. And who are you to tell me that it wasn't old? If there was an old divot there at any time, you're improving your lie. Now, someone says, always play winter rules. In other words, always play as if it's winter rules. See, I think that's too controversial for me. But then again, I'm the official, unofficial ambassador to Minnesota Golf, and I have a different opinion of it. On the other side of the break, we're going to do a little 5-3-4. Tennessee, what do you have for us?
It's time for our very last dirt or dish on Durant.